Is it possible to imagine a modern metropolis without majestic skyscrapers? Their height demonstrates the wealth of power, sophistication makes you hold your breath. Tall buildings have always been the epitome of power and progress, from the Great Pyramids of Giza, which for more than 3 millennia held the record for the tallest buildings built by man, to the multi-storey apartments of ancient Rome. Nowadays, skyscraper towers have become not only a distinctive feature of big cities, but also symbols of urbanism itself. The most notable of them are of course the Burj Khalifa in Dubai. This tower broke 12 records at once, including the record of the height of the building, of the project's scale of height, elevators, the number of floors, the height of the viewing platforms and restaurants, and even the record of the height of concrete injection for any structures. Almost every decision in the planning and construction of this remarkably beautiful skyscraper was innovative. About how the tallest building in the world was built, see more in our issue. Burj Khalifa was originally planned as the tallest skyscraper on the planet. Undoubtedly, it was also supposed to become a tourist attraction center, because it is not for nothing that it is designed as a city within a city. There are parks and restaurants, apartments and gyms, terraces, swimming pools, not to mention numerous observation decks. The project of the building was developed by the American architectural firm Skidmore, Owings and Merrill, which also designed the Willis Tower of Chicago, the World Trade Center in New York, and many other famous buildings. As the general contractor, the developers chose the construction division of the South Korean company Samsung, which participated in the construction of the Petronas Twin Towers in Kuala Lumpur. The author of the project is the American architect Adrian Smith, who already had experience in designing such structures. In particular, he participated in the design of the 420-meter-high Jinmao skyscraper in China. Smith is also the recipient of the 2011 City Boom Council for High-Rise Buildings and Urban Environment Award. His projects have won more than 125 awards, including 5 international, 9 national awards of the American Institute of Architects and 35 state awards. He had to once again break his own record of creating the tallest skyscraper in the world. Construction began in 2004 and proceeded at a rate of 1 to 2 floors per week. Up to 12,000 workers were involved daily. The building took about 320,000 cubic meters of concrete and more than 60,000 tons of steel reinforcement. Concrete works were completed after the construction of the 160th floor, then the assembly of a 180-meter spire of metal structures was carried out. Although the Burj Khalifa was immediately erected as the tallest skyscraper in the world, at the request of customers, its design height was kept secret. In case they suddenly decided to erect a building of a higher height somewhere, they could urgently make adjustments to the project. Engineers designing the tallest building in the world had to solve many problems that were previously purely theoretical. Initially, the architects were given a very specific task: the Burj Khalifa skyscraper should not be equal in height. Because of this, after the construction of the first 35 floors, changes had to be made to the original project. The fact is that the construction customers have heard rumors that somewhere they have begun to build a building with a height of more than 700 meters. The bar for the Burj Khalifa was raised to 800 meters. As a result, the tower rises 828 meters above the ground. But how did the engineers manage to make such significant changes to such a large-scale project already at the construction stage? Let's figure it out. Firstly, the Burj Khalifa has an extremely solid foundation, despite the fact that the skyscraper is located in a desert area, where the rock is quite loose. Taking into account the peculiarities of the soil, the engineers used hanging piles 45 meters long and 1.5 meters in diameter each. For hanging-type supports, it is characteristic to obtain stability due to 2 factors: the resistance of the soil to the tip and the friction of the soil with the side walls of the pile, a total of 200 pieces. They can withstand the weight of the tower equal to about 500,000 tons. It was not easy to install piles, since the walls of the mines for them collapsed immediately after the extraction of the drill. To prevent this from happening, the shafts for the piles of the Burj Khalifa foundation were filled with a specially developed unique polymer resin, which was subsequently displaced by the poured concrete. Secondly, the Burj Khalifa tower, despite its height, has a very stable shape. Its structure is called a reinforced core, which means that the tallest building in the world consists of several sculptural volumes supporting each other. At the same time, each volume has its own frame and additional columns. The tower is also saved from wind loads, which are the main enemy of high-rise buildings, due to the various forms that make up its sculptural volumes. Thanks to them, a powerful wind flow is broken into weaker ones that are not capable of causing serious damage. Wind impact is the main negative factor affecting a high-rise building. The vortices and turbulence that arise around the skyscraper constantly change the nature of loading, which leads to rocking and shaking of the building. This not only causes intense wear of the structure, but also creates unpleasant conditions for people in the building. The influence of the wind is so great that only constructive measures to increase the size of the load-bearing elements and the class of concrete cannot solve the problem, and the builders of Burj Khalifa solved it due to the unique structure of the reinforced core, which helped the building to become the tallest in the world and successfully resist the effects of wind. The outer walls of the Burj Khalifa consist of two-layer glass panels specially designed for this project, allowing you to maintain a comfortable microclimate inside. The first layer is covered with metal and acts as a sunscreen, reflecting the thermal radiation of the sun. The second layer is coated with silver protecting from infrared rays. If we are talking about the appearance of the building, the overall design of the Burj Khalifa is inspired by the geometry of a flower growing in the Dubai desert and traditional patterns for Islamic architecture. Many people say that they spent an excessive amount of effort and money on the design of the building model, but they did it all for more successful wind resistance. On January 4, 2010, the opening ceremony of the Burj Khalifa for visitors took place. The skyscraper was built, breaking many records. But what is next to it? What kind of entertainment does it offer to its guests and residents? The Dubai Musical Fountain was built at the foot of the building in an artificial lake, with a design cost of 800 million dirhams, $218 million. It is the second largest fountain in the world. It can lift up to 83 tons of water into the air per second. It is illuminated by 6,600 light sources and 50 color spotlights. The fountain is 275 meters long and 175 meters high. The musical accompaniment of the game of light and water includes classical and modern Arabic music. Also not far from the tower in 2009, the Dubai Mall was opened, complementing the concept of the luxurious commercial and business center Dubai downtown. Dubai Mall is also among the record holders. Its area is one of the largest in the world, reaching 1.2 million square meters. The shopping city includes the following establishments: the Golden Market, complexes of 220 shops united under one roof, the Republic of Sega, the largest theme park in the Emirates, a fashionable island of 70 boutiques and showrooms. Kidzania is a children's entertainment center with an area of 8,000 square meters, one of the largest oceanariums in the world, a cinema with 22 screens, an ice rink that can host the Olympics. And yet, it would seem, why would a city with a population of 2.7 million people need the world's tallest skyscraper Burj Khalifa? Firstly, it generates income, and not only through rent. For example, the Indian billionaire Shetty bought the entire 100th floor of 3 of his apartments. The very next day after the opening of the tower, almost all 900 luxury apartments occupying floors from 44 to 72 and from 77 to 108 were sold. And secondly, the Burj Khalifa is a luxurious trap for tourists. Thanks to the unique buildings in Dubai, the former, once an ordinary desert city, today more than 20 million tourists come a year and leave billions of dollars here. Would you like to spend your vacation in an apartment on the 108th floor, or would you choose a room closer to the ground? Write in the comments.